So here is some things that I wish someone would have told me before we moved out here to the Dominican Republic. Before getting into the video, I also want you guys to keep in mind that we live in the Campo. This is going to be for our type of lifestyle. A lot of the people who are moving, a lot of the Americans that are moving out in Dominican Republic, they are moving in gated communities. The first thing I wish someone told me before we moved to the Dominican Republic is the power outages. So we're coming from upstate New York. So we were in the country before. So we did experience power outages, but out here it's on another level. Because we do live in the Campo, there are some days where we can go up to 48 hours without power. Just the other week, we had a power line down here and we ended up 4 days without power, which I just went ahead and booked the Airbnb, which wasn't that far. There's Airbnbs all over Dominican Republic. So I just booked a really affordable Airbnb until they were able to fix the power. That instance was very rare. I feel like that doesn't happen. Like we've been out here for 7 months and we've never been 4 days without power. It's because of the line. So I'm not really considering that, but 48 hours is something that can definitely happen. 48 hours going without power out here in the Campo. So if you're someone that's thinking about moving to the Campo, you're trying to be in the country in Dominican Republic, just keep that in mind. You're going to need an inversor. You're going to need backup batteries. So with the inversor we have 8 batteries, which is going to power up the refrigerator. It powers up the lights in the house, the Wi-Fi, the cameras. It does not power the AC or the fans. So when the power does go out, even though we do have power, we're still hot as heck. So we do plan on getting solar panels installed on both houses in the future. But like I said, if you guys are planning to move in the Campo, then you want to keep this in mind. You're going to need backup batteries. The second thing I wish someone told me before we moved to the Dominican Republic is the way that people drive out here is so chaotic. It's very hectic. There is no order on the road like it is in the United States. You drive on this side, they drive on this side, you cross this way, cross that. Everything is in order. Out here, it's very chaotic. So you guys have to be very careful when you are driving in the Dominican Republic. The third thing that I wish someone told me before moving to the Dominican Republic is the bugs, the insects. As you guys can see, like this really irks me because I don't like roaches. Like I didn't like the roaches in the United States. The roaches out here are gigantic and they fly. And they will fly at you. So this for me, when I first experienced this, you guys, let me tell you guys, I was sleeping one night and a freaking roach climbed up my leg. That was so freaking traumatizing for me. The next day we called somebody to exterminate the house because with roaches, I can't, like spiders and other bugs, maybe, but a roach, you guys, like I don't like roaches. I'm very scared of roaches. So if you don't like bugs, then I don't know, you might have to reconsider moving to Dominican Republic, or maybe just don't come to the Campo because it's absolutely insane. And then aside from the roaches, they have big beetles. They have gigantic spiders, literally like the size of my hand, maybe bigger than my hand. It's insane. So I really wish that someone would have told me that before moving out here, because that would have definitely been a deal changer. But now it's too late, and I guess we're kind of getting used to it. So the fourth thing that I wish somebody told me before we moved to the Dominican Republic is that people will steer you to death out here. Like I'm not playing. Like when I mean steer to death, they will steer you to death and they won't look away. They won't blink. And at first I thought it was that, oh, maybe they're just staring at us because they know we're Americans. No, people just stare out here. They stare at each other. They stare. It's just a staring contest out here, basically. And this took a lot for my kids to get used to because my kids will always say, oh my God, why is that person staring at me? And now we're kind of used to it because we've been out here for 7 months. So it's like people just stare out here. That's just what they do. They just stare. I don't know if it's because they're conscious or I don't know. I feel like we notice that people stare more because again, we're on island time, so everything moves slower out here. In the United States, people might stare at you, but they're like staring and going, or they stare and then that's it. They just go about their day. But out here, everything is so slow paced. So I guess people have more time to just stare and observe. Another thing with the staring is that the mannerism out here, like that the people have, like we'll be in the supermarket shopping and someone will literally push by you. They won't say excuse me. Or if you're trying to grab something from the grocery store off the shelf, someone will come like literally right in front of you and grab what they need and leave, and they won't say excuse me. So I do feel like there are, not everybody's like that. Obviously, the way people are, there's always going to be a person that's the same way and there's a person that's different. We're all not the same. But I have come across a lot of people who are, they just don't have manners. And I think that's really the problem when it comes to driving. People don't have empathy, because if you had empathy, you think, oh, this person needs to go, so let me just nicely let them go. But out here, that doesn't really happen. The fifth thing I wish someone told me before moving to the Dominican Republic is that there's no hot water out here, you guys. Unless your house has a hot water heater installed, which one of our houses do, the other one doesn't. So you're going to be taking cold showers. And I'm not the type of person that's going to boil water just to take showers. So we have gotten used to cold showers. Actually, there's a lot of health benefits that come with taking cold showers. So if you want a hot shower, you go to the guest house, but nobody really has time for that because it's a walk. So we just shower in the main house using cold water, and we love it. Like I said, it has health benefits, so you just get used to it. Sixth and the last thing I wish someone would have told me about before we moved to the Dominican Republic is that we're in the Campo, you guys, so we don't have trash removal. So you guys are probably asking, how the hell do you get rid of your garbage then? Like, how do you get rid of your trash? So you have to make a burn pile, which is like a small area that you have for your property. We have a lot of land, so thank God we're able to keep that away from us. So you just make a pile where you burn your trash, and that's how we get rid of our trash. And then you also should have a composite pile, and that's where you're going to be putting all the scraps of your food, like leftover food, rice, which rice goes to the chicken, like scraps from vegetables that the chickens don't eat. You just put it in a hole and you bury it with dirt, and that becomes composite, and you're able to use that to help nourish and grow your garden, your fruits, your vegetables, or whatever you're planting. So there's a plus in the composite pile, but the trash part, there is no trash removal out here in the compost, so just keep that in mind. So there you guys have it. Those are the 6 things I wish I knew before moving to the Dominican Republic. I probably still wouldn't have changed my mind. I probably still would have moved here because I'm very adaptive, and like I said, we're coming from the country. So even though those are like 5 things that kind of but we still got used to them, and we absolutely love living here. We're literally living in paradise. So I would still take those 5 things, 6 things over living in the United States. So that is going to complete today's video. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, you guys, peace and much love. Bye.